Bez Hashem, today we'll be starting the second group of Moharan in the Likutey Moharan, the Moharan of Rabbi Yochanan Mishtoi. The first one is a very short Maamar, Torah Zayin, Chaf Aleph and Beis. So Rabbi Yochanan says a story that once he was going on a ship, they saw a fish that took its head out of the water, and its two eyes were like two moons. And there were water coming out of its two nostrils, like the rivers of Surah. So Rebbe explains that this fish is a tzaddik, like we always say that a dag is a tzaddik. They took his head out of the water. What does that mean? It means a tzaddik, and thus explains it's really everybody, can't be b'dveikus all the time. When a person is in dveikus, which means that he's thinking about Hashem, his seichel and his das is connected to his heart, then that is an union of your eyes are open, that your eyes are open like a sun, and when somebody closes his eyes, that means he can't be connected now, but dveikus, he can't be thinking about Hashem and thinking all the machshavas, kedoshis. That's like the sun went down. It's like the moon. So sometimes you have a tzaddik that even though he's a tzaddik, but he has to sometimes take his head out of the water. He can't keep his head to be thinking all the time about dveikus, and so to every person himself. It's hard to always be thinking about Hashem every moment, to be thinking every time you do a mitzvah, to be thinking about all the inyanim, and to be thinking of all the machshavas, tovas, and kedoshis, which we're supposed to be thinking b'shas we do mitzvahs. And it's hard to be thinking as we're going up and down in our lives, to be thinking about Hashem all the time in such a dveikistic way, with deep machshavas and deep understandings, and to be able to connect our seichel to everything. So then, at that point, the tzaddik and every single one of us is like the eyes are like a moon. It's not like a sun. It's not shining like a sun. It's just like a moon. But still, it's like the Rebbe explains. It's like the two rivers of Surah. So the Rebbe says Surah and rivers. So the word river Nahar is, which is also could also be the Nara of Kol HaGoyim. But all the Goyim come to the river, and all the people on the outside. There's a surah. There was saru me'Hashem. Meaning to say that even though they're far away, but still there's a bechina of the two Mashiachs, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef, that through those bechinas, this bechina Mashiach, which we'll explain in a second what that means, and through that bechina, then even all those times and all those places which the chayra that they had to break themselves off into dveikus will still be able to be niskarev, which means that will come a time that they won't always have to be nispatel from avoda and from achshava all the time. That will be that right now. That sometimes we are like a shemesh, sometimes we're davik b'kedusha, sometimes we're like a yereach, sometimes we're like a levana. We have to be nispatel from kedusha. But there will come a time of v'haya or levana korachama. So nothing explains what's going on over here. It explains that the Rebbe says over here that the reason why we have to be nispatel on dveikus is because the two umais of this. These are the two rivers are the two umais, Esav and Yishmael, and but the two Mashiachs, they have a tikkun, Mashiach ben Mashiach ben Yosef. The Nasa explains that what's going on over here is that the way the Eibishter made the world, we know from other Torahs, and we know from the Arizal, when the Eibishter made the world, first he had to kavyachol be mitzamtzim alakusa to make a place for the world. What that means is that the pashtus is that you see Hashem everywhere, and you understand Hashem everywhere, and you see Hashem, but there would be no place for Olam Hazeh if it was so obvious in every single way that you see and you feel Hashem, and everything is so obvious to us in every way. So there's no place for Lahasa. So Hashem Kaviyach had to make a matziv of a world where you don't obviously see Hashem, you don't obviously feel Hashem, and in that place to be able to Megala himself. So to every person in his life. If a person wouldn't be a person if he would be totally overwhelmed all the time with dvekas and chachma, and it's only because we make parts of this world and parts of our lives which are devoid and void, only like a moon. There's no sun going out. It's only a moon, and those places are what allows us to have those places of dvekas. The only way we can have this yichud of Chama and Levana, of Kochbricha and Shchinte, is because sometimes we have a matzav of Levana. The Rebbe explains this Levana is the time of Amunah. That Amunah is the beginning of Amadregas and the end of Amadregas. It's only through Amunah that when we have this matzavim, when we don't feel anything, we don't see anything, we're mischazik be'amunah, we say bepeh that even though right now I'm feeling that nothing's working out, or I feel frustrated, that I don't see or understand how everything is a taiva, or I don't feel and understand how everything is simcha and chiyas. But afal have a munah that really everything's a taiva and everything's a ebishter and everything's working out and everything is kavod Hashem. And even if I understand all the yonim and a mitzvah and understand the dvekas and mitzvah afal I have a munah, then that itself is what brings me to the next madrega. And forget, that's how it works. Before every madrega of dvekas, of understanding, first you have a madrega of just feeling, of just emunah, of just not feeling anything, of just emunah. And that's how it works. And the Mnasan says it's very important that every person himself needs to, at all times, keep on being aware of himself, not to push himself to be b'dvekas all the time. When you see that you can't be b'dvekas for a while, you can't. Right now, it's hard for you to think about Hashem. It's hard to be izik b'avoda mamash with seichel and chachma. Sometimes you need to take a break. You need to take a short time to go speak to people, to go do other things, and to just to spend a short time, to spend some time just thinking about Emunah. Just even if I don't feel anything, even if I don't understand anything about Emunah. And that itself is mechazik you, to give you the koyach that the next madrega you'll now have the kelim and the munah and the sagas to be able to kabel the next madrega. And so too, you get back into the next madrega, and you get back into dvekas, into chachma, into seichel, into avoda, into feeling, and then you feel tired again and mavulbul again, and again you mechazik yourself be'emunah, and so on and so forth. And with this koyach of this koyach of Mashiach, it helps us that no matter what, we're always b'dvekas, sai b'amunah, sai when we're in the shemesh, or sai when in Yerech, we're always connected to Hashem, whether we feel or not. Sometimes it's and then v'haya levan karachama. They should help us now in the time in the summer that should be able to take the koiches of this time of a break. That should give us koiches that we should be able to go back into afterwards into avodah b'yesses b'yesses.